What's going on, viewers? Coming right back at you with another video. I hope everyone is doing well. Well, let's talk about this article that just came across my timeline. Recently, a family had to undergo a serious problem, and I'm gonna tie this with crypto because it's all relative. PMC Bank crisis waiting for their savings. 3 seniors succumb within a week. Mirror spoke to 2 families that had to borrow from friends and relatives as their loved ones battled for life. When Oshiwara resident Vijay Chaudhry was diagnosed with a kidney ailment 3 years ago, he liquidated a land asset to ensure financial security for his wife and 3 children. While the family could depend on the interest earned, a part of the funds was used for his kidney transplant last year. This article was written on the 29th of this year, by the way, of July. Last week, as Chaudhry, 53, battled for his life, his family amassed a huge debt while awaiting emergency funds from the scam-ridden Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative, PMC Bank. The bank released Rs 1.5 lakh on Monday, 2 days after Chaudhry passed away. Now, I'm talking about this because this is a very telling sign as to where we are, where the world is from an economic and financial point of view. Economically and financially, the world is going through a crisis, a series of problems that we don't know when we're going to get out of it. Cryptocurrency is the last line of defense in order to have people, for right now, as far as I can see to date, to have people have some kind of control over their finances, over their monies, okay, in creating some type of wealth to pass down from generations to generations. This individual here had to sell a part of his assets to make sure that his wife and children were okay, and still ended up having debt. I'm going to leave the link in the description. But he couldn't pay for medical services, so they went to their bank in order to get their monies, and the bank could not give them their funds. You could do the investigation to find out why, because it's being labeled a scam. But the PMC Bank could not give them their funds when they went to get it, and the man had to die. And 2 days after he passed, he received his funds. See, this is the problem. If all of us who have bank accounts went to the bank today, right now, to go relinquish and close our accounts, the banks would not have the monies to give us. Do you not realize that, people? Do you not realize the severity of what's going on? Side by side, meanwhile, you have a contract that was created to address fundamental problems such as these by a man who's native to India, his native land, a developer. His name is Sunny. He created Gandhiji.io, smart contract on the Ethereum network, blockchain. Do your research to address these fundamental problems. The smart contract, it's you and the smart contract. As long as you have your private keys, no one can stop you from taking your money. Imagine if this family got wind of Gandhiji.io or was in the smart contract. They may have not have had to experience this loss. The man could be alive today. And what's crushing about this is, people are going through this. I'm sure people are going through all kinds of problems like this, similar and worse now, as we speak. This contract was active and running, has been active and running since April 2018. If this family knew about it, they could have very well be saved. There's a possibility. And this is why I say, crypto, man, folks need to know about, learn about the cryptocurrency space and market. Learn about that, how it's the wave of the future. The technology is incredibly powerful. Some people call the contract its own savings account. They use it as a savings account. Of course, you could speculate, You can trade, you can do whatever you want, but that's part of the decentralization and the nature of freedom that it offers. Imagine, I'm hailing I'm hailing from the United States, and this thing hit me like it happened to me, because it could happen to any one of us. Imagine JP Morgan Chase, one of the bigger banks in the world, and from the United States. The head of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, mentioned 3 years ago, 2017, how Bitcoin was a waste of time, while he was quietly, him or his company Chase was quietly accumulating Bitcoin back then. And to date, he's rescinded his statement. Goldman Sachs joining Bitcoin. All these institutions joining not only Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrency market, because they see the handwriting on the wall. They see how the Federal Reserve Bank and the central banks are just printing money, thereby devaluing the dollar, the US dollar. They see where this is going. Now they can custody. Now the United States can, the banks, all of the banks in the United States can custody crypto. Excuse the noise above, because now all of a sudden planes can soar now, right? Planes can fly in the midst of whatever's going on with the health crisis. But I digress. They see where this is going. Imagine you having to, you need to get your money out of the bank to pay for a serious situation, a medical bill, or whatever, and you can't do it, or the bank's not going to give you your money. Imagine. That's what happened. And there are two other families that experienced something similar to this too, where their loved ones had to die. There's so many scammers in life. There's so many scams in life. But when people talk, and this is a little bit, I'm going to go to a different lane now. When people talk about this contract and they don't understand it, and they talk down on the contract, I'm talking about Gandhiji.io, also known as Ethereum Gold, also known as a bunch of other websites, but it's the same contract. Do your research. Do your own due diligence. When people downplay this contract, and it's been running still, doing the same thing it was designed and developed to do to date, where it's actually affording people the opportunity to have control and some semblance of freedom, where they don't have to just be oppressed by central banks. They don't have to be oppressed by their own local banks, banking systems. And people call it whatever they want to call it. They could go somewhere with that. They can go somewhere with that. Get out of my face. Because this is the reason why. This is part of the reason why the contract was created. To address these fundamentally, horrific problems. Horrific, archaic issues. When you're talking about Klaus, talking about the world reset, great reset, this is part of it. We have to move away from the financial paradigm of old into the new. The wave of the future is here, and it's now. Get familiar. Learn, educate yourselves on crypto. Learn the basics so you won't lose. Learn how it works, because there's a learning curve. It's not for everybody, but guess what? It's the wave of the future. Each day that passes by, the network effect for Bitcoin, the network effect for Ethereum gets stronger and stronger and stronger. My goodness, people, this one is a big hit. I mean, I'm no different than anybody out here. I have children of my own. I have family of my own. Imagine. I hope that people really understand and wake up. This is more than just about gambling. This is more than just about speculation. This is more than just about, get rich quick. Crypto is much more than that. And that's why when I speak about it with a certain tone, because it's life-changing. Life-changing opportunities are not games. They're not fly by night. They're not get rich quick schemes. You're not gambling here. Everything, there's a risk with everything. Sure, there's a risk when you wake up and walk outside the door of your home. There's a risk. Everything's a risk. There's risk in everything. But when you're well equipped and you have the sound information that you need to make the best educated decision that you can make, hey, you minimize your risk. Wish this family knew about the contract, man.